नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो। आई एम JVN डॉक्टर सुमन शेखावत, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ काय चिकित्सा, फैकल्टी ऑफ आयुर्वेदिक साइंसेज, ज्योति विद्यापीठ, विमेंस यूनिवर्सिटी, जयपुर। Today we will discuss on cardiovascular system examination, that we should ask with the patient first of all history of the patient, that some kind of symptoms present to the patient or not, like cardinal symptom, dyspnea on exertion or breathlessness, including paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea, orthonia, platynia, traponia, and chest pain, cough, expectoration, hemoptysis, palpitation, syncopal attack. Symptoms of congestive cardiac failure like exertional breathlessness, edema of the feet, puffiness of face, anasarca, distension of abdomen and pain in right hypochondrium, anorexia, nausea, vomiting. Symptoms of rheumatic heart disease like fever with sore throat, fleeting joint pain, swelling, involuntary chorea, nodules under the skin like rheumatic nodule, symptoms of infective endocarditis, SBE. These all are symptoms present in the patient or not. We should ask with the patient, like pyrexia, petechial hemorrhage, pads of the finger, oscular nodes, palpable spleen, phalangeal clubbing, prolonged treatment with high dose of penicillin. We should ask if the patient is taking prolonged treatment of penicillin or not. Hemoptysis, hematuria, hemiplasia, phlebothrombosis. Symptoms of suggestive congenital heart disease patient have or not, like cyanotic spell, squatting episodes, and pressure symptom due to enlarged left atrium or aneurysm of aorta, like hoarseness of voice, pressure on the recurrent laryngeal nerve, Orters syndrome, dysphagia, pressure on esophagus. Miscellaneous symptoms, some of miscellaneous things we should ask with the patient, like family history, hypertension, diabetes, coronary artery disease, dyslipidemia, congenital heart disease, cardiomyopathies, and past history of hypertension, diabetes, coronary artery disease, hyperlipidemia, obesity, recurrent lower respiratory infection, tuberculosis, syphilis, STD, HIV, and infection. History of hospitalization, number of admissions, duration of each admission, and investigation done, like ECG, X-ray, echocardiography, cardiac catheterization, diagnosis reached if known, drug given, example diuretics, digitalis, relief obtained or not, advice, surgery, intervention or not, history of cardiac surgery, angioplasty or valvuloplasty. We should ask with the physical examination or general examination of the patient, like we have to see in the patient that build and nutrition of the patient, nails in conjunctiva for pallor, icterus, clubbing, and cyanosis. Lymphadenopathy and thyroid swelling, edema, skin for petechial hemorrhage, oscular nodes, rheumatic nodules, xanthelasma, and xanthomas. We should ask with the patient. Skeletal system, kyphoscoliosis and polydactyly. Decubitus and temperature, pulse and respiratory rate, blood pressure of the patient. Features of Marfan syndrome, that patient have these kind of symptoms or not. If patient have these kind of symptoms, we should assess the patient. And cardiovascular system, first of all we should see that we have to examine in cardiovascular system, like peripheral and central things. Peripheral, we should examine jugular venous pressure and pulse, rate, rhythm, volume, character, quality, upstroke, downstroke, condition of vessel wall, apex, pulse deficit, and radiofemoral delay, carotid brute, blood pressure, both arms supine and upright, peripheral sign of wide pulse pressure as in AI, PDA, etc. Pistol shot sounds over the femoral Muset sign, D Muset sign, locomotor brachial. Centrally we should see inspection, palpation, percussion and auscultation. We should see in inspection precordium, apex impulse, other pulsation, parasternal episodes, and palpation we should see apex beat, and percussion we should see right upper border and right border, left border, lower sternal resonance. Auscultation we should see heart sound, murmur and other sound.
नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो। आई एम जेवीएन डॉक्टर सुमन शेखावत, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ काय चिकित्सा, फैकल्टी ऑफ आयुर्वेदिक साइंसेज, ज्योति विद्यापीठ, विमेंस यूनिवर्सिटी, जयपुर. Today we will discuss on examination of cardiovascular system. In the series of examination of cardiovascular system, now we will talk diagnosis of sinoatrial disease. Sinus node discharge. Sinus node discharge is not itself visible on the surface of ECG, but the atrial depolarization it triggers produce the P wave. The spontaneous discharge of the normal sinus node is influenced by a variety of neurohumoral factors, particularly vagal and sympathetic activity, which respectively slow and quicken the heart rate. Next is sinus bradycardia, less than 50 bpm. Sinus bradycardia is physiological during sleep and in trained athlete, but in other circumstances often reflect sinoatrial disease, particularly when the heart rate fails to normally with exercise. Sinoatrial blocks in the sinus impulses is blocked and fail to trigger atrial depolarization. A pause occurs in the ECG. No P wave is seen during the pause, owing to the absence of atrial depolarization. Next is sinus arrest. Failure of sinus node discharge produce a pause on the ECG that bear no relation to the preceding PP interval. Pauses longer than 2 seconds are usually pathological. Prolonged pause are often terminated by an escape beat from a junctional focus in the bundle of His. Next is diagnosis of atrioventricular block. In atrioventricular block, conduction is delayed or completely interrupted, either in the atrioventricular node or in the bundle branches. When conduction is merely delayed, example, first degree atrioventricular block, bundle branch block, and the heart rate is unaffected. When conduction is completely interrupted, however, the heart rate may slow sufficiently to produce symptoms. In second degree atrioventricular block, failure of conduction is defined intermittent, and if sufficient sinus impulses are conducted to maintain an adequate ventricular rate, symptoms may be avoided. First degree atrioventricular block. Delayed atrioventricular conduction causes prolongation of the PR interval greater than 0.20 second. Ventricular depolarization occurs rapidly by normal His-Purkinje pathway, and the QRS complex is usually narrow. Second degree atrioventricular block, Mobis type first. Mobis type first. Second degree atrioventricular block commonly occurs in inferior myocardial infarction. Successive sinus beat find the atrioventricular node increasingly refractory until failure of conduction occurs. Second degree atrioventricular block, Mobis type second. Mobis type second degree atrioventricular block indicate advanced conducting tissue disease affecting the bundle branches. Third degree complete atrioventricular block. The atrial and ventricular rhythm are dissociated because none of the atrial impulses are conducted. Thus, the ECG shows regular P wave unless the atrium is fibrillating and regular but slower QRS complexes occurring independently of each other when block is within the atrioventricular node. The chest X-ray, cardiac silhouette. Although the PA chest X-ray exhibit a wide range of normally, the maximum diameter of the heart should not be more than 50% of the widest diameter of the thorax. Cardiac enlargement is caused either by dilatation of the cardiac chamber or by pericardial effusion. Myocardial hypertrophy only affects heart size if very severe. Ventricular dilatation. The PA chest X-ray doesn't reliably distinguish left from right ventricular dilatation. For this, the lateral chest X-ray is more helpful. Atrial dilatation. Right atrial dilatation is usually due to right ventricular failure but occurs as an isolated finding in tricuspid stenosis and Epstein anomaly. Vascular dilatation. Aortic dilatation caused by aneurysm or dissection may produce widening of the entire upper mediastinum. Intracardiac calcification. Because the radiodensity of cardiac tissue is similar to that of blood, intracardiac structures can rarely be identified unless by they are calcified. Lung field. Common lung field abnormality in cardiovascular disease are caused either by altered pulmonary flow or by increased left atrial pressure. Altered pulmonary flow. Increments in pulmonary flow sufficient to cause radiographic abnormalities are caused by left to right intracardiac shunt. Prominence of the vascular marking gives the lung field a plethoric appearance. Reduction in pulmonary flow, on the other hand, cause reduced vascular marking. Increased left atrial pressure. Increased left atrial pressure occurs in mitral stenosis and left ventricular failure and produce corresponding rise in pulmonary venous and pulmonary capillary pressure. Prominence of the upper lobe vein is an early radiographic finding. Other lung field abnormalities is pulmonary infarction, localized and typically wedge-shaped areas of consolidation with occasionally seen in pulmonary embolic disease, although more often the bronchial circulation protects against ischemic damage. Pneumonic consolidation and abscess in patient with right-sided endocarditis. Infected pulmonary emboli commonly cause septic foci within the lung field. Interstitial lung disease is long-standing pulmonary hypertension complicating rheumatic mitral valve disease. Hemosiderosis. Stippled shadowing throughout the lung field was once a common X-ray finding. It is now rarely seen. Bony abnormalities. Bony abnormalities are unusual in cardiovascular disease apart from coarctation of the aorta and thoracic outlet syndrome. In coarctation, dilated bronchial collateral vessel erode the inferior aspect of the rib to produce notches, although they are rarely present before adolescence. Cervical ribs may compress the neurovascular bundle in the thoracic outlet, and special thoracic outlet views are necessary for radiographic diagnosis. Thank you. This session is powered by digital version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeth Women's University Jaipur. I hope you all are satisfied with this session. If you feel any kind of problem with this session, please mention it in comment box. Thank you.